Greetings, and welcome to our production of Hamlet, sponsored by the East Kingdom branch of the Society for Creative Anachronism. This is a rehearsed reading. Our actors are performing with scripts in hand and occasional props. There are many professional community theater organizations across the United States that are struggling right now. Theater professionals are unable to work, and all theater groups will continue to have bills to pay with no income. If you love theater, our cast would ask you to consider donating to either the Actors Fund or directly to the theater organization of your choice. Now, normally this would be where I would remind you to turn your cell phones off, but please feel free to leave your phones on, text a friend about what you're watching, make yourself a snack, and above all, enjoy the show.
Scene 1, Elsinore, a platform before the castle. Francisco at his post. Enter to him, Reynaldo.
Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Reynaldo,
He.
you come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
Oh, for this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I'm sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them to make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who's there?
Enter Horatio and Marcellus.
Friends to this ground.
And rivals and liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Reynaldo has my place. I give you good night.
Allah, Reynaldo!
Say what, is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy and will not let belief take hold of him. Touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears, that are so fortified against our story what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Reynaldo speak of it.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beaten one.
Peace, break thee off. Look, where it comes again.
In the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar, Horatio. Speak to it.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurped this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak, speak. I charge thee, speak.
'Tis gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
Before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak. Or if thou hast uphoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike at it with my partisan?
Do it if it will not stand.
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
He's gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence. For it is as the air invulnerable, and our vein blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
Then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons.
It faded on the crowing of the cock.
But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For, upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently.
Exeunt. Scene 2. A room of state in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Hamlet, Polonius, Laertes, Cornelius, lords and attendants. Claudius unmutes.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us be fitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as it were, with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and dropping eye, with mirth in funeral, and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair all along. For all, our thanks. Now follows, you know, young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, colleague with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bonds of law to our most valiant brother. Ha! So much for him. Now, for ourselves, and this time of meeting, thus much the business is, we have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of his nephew's purpose to suppress his further gait herein, in that the levies, the lists, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. And here we dispatch you, good Cornelius, for bearer of this greeting to old Norway, giving you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope that these delated articles allow. Farewell, and let haste commend your duty.
In that and all things will I show my duty.
We doubt it nothing. Heartily, farewell.
Exeunt. Cornelius.
And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty to your coronation. Yet now, I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath,
Polonius.
my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces, spend it at thy will. But now, cousin Hamlet, and my son,
Little more than kin and less than kind.
how is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If 't be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions a man might play. But I have that within which pathos show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as a father, for let the world take note. You are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than which dearest father bears his son, do I impart to you. For your intent in going back to Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health the Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse the heavens all brute, re-speaking earthly thunder. Come away.
Exeunt, all but Hamlet.
Oh, that this too sullied flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself to a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, God, how weary, flat, stale, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of the world. Fie on it, fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king, so loving to my mother. Heaven and earth must I remember? She would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet, within a month, a little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body. Like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, even she, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. O most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, and it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Enter Horatio, Marcellus, and Bernardo.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself?
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus?
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. But what faith, in faith, make you from Wittenberg?
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day. Horatio, my father. He thinks I see my father.
Oh, where?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
Ah, yeah, I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all and all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord the king, your father.
The king? My father?
Season your admiration for a while with an attendant ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead vastin middle of the night, been thus encountered, a figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pie, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slowly and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes within his truncheon's length, while they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good, the apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak, but even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed, indeed. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight.
We do, my lord.
I would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assumes my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed the sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Your loves is mine to you. Farewell.
Exeunt all but Hamlet.
My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
Hamlet exits. Scene 3. A room in Polonius's house. Enter Laertes and Ophelia.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the wind gives benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but so.
Think of it no more. For nature's crescent does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. His will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. And therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body, whereof he is the head. Then if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, as he is in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Their safety lies in fear. Youth itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But, good brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
No, fear me not. I stay too long. But here comes father.
Enter Polonius.
A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leaving.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory, see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with the entertainment of each new hatched unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of most generous and select chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both self and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and then it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servant's tent.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
Exit Laertes.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
Oh, so you please, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry, well bethought, 'tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. It be so, as so 'tis put on me, and that in the way of caution I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor. What is it between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection, pooh! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of a poor phrase running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion, and have given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise as it is a making, you must not take for fire. From this time, be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment's leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet.
Father.
Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
Exeunt. Scene 4. The platform. Enter Hamlet, Horatio, and Marcellus.
Air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It then draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. Oh, that flourish of trumpets. What does that mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and take his rouse, keeps wassail and the swaggering uprising reels, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Ah, marry, is it? But to my mind, though I am native here, and to the manner born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed revel, east and west, makes us produced and taxed of other nations. They clep us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our edition.
My lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned, bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. What may this mean, that thou, dead corse, come again in complete steel, revisits the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous? Say, why is this? What, wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look, with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why, what should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that? Being a thing immortal as itself. It waves me forth, I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord? Or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his base into the sea, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think on it. The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea and hears it roar beneath.
It waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out. By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say, away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
Exeunt Ghost and Hamlet.
Ah, he waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit to thus obey him.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Exeunt. Scene 5. Another part of the platform. Enter Ghost and Hamlet.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I will go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I, to sulphureous and tormenting flames, must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Ah, pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge, when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could tell a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy 2 eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each hair to stand on end like the quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oh list, if thou did ever thy dear father love.
God.
Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder.
Murder, most foul, as in the best it is, but the most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I, with wings as swift as meditation, or thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
Now, Hamlet, hear. 'Tis given out that, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, O wicked wit and gifts that have the power so to seduce, won to his shameful lust the will of my most seemingly virtuous queen. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole with the juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ear did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with sudden vigor it doth posset and curd like eager droppings into milk the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and most instant tedder barked about, most laser-like with vile and loathsome crust all my smooth body. Thus was I sleeping, by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unannealed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his uneffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
Oh, all you host of heaven. Oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fie. Hold my heart, and you my sinews. Grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, and thy commandment alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain. Oh, villain, villain, smiling, damned villain. My tables, meet as I should set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
From within.
My lord.
My lord.
Enter Horatio and Marcellus.
Lord Hamlet.
Heavens cure him.
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Without more circumstance all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You as your business and desire shall point to you, for every man hath business and desire, such as it is, and for my poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I am sorry they offend you heartily, yea, faith, heartily.
There is no offense, my lord.
Oh, yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost. That, let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars, and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it on my sword. Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage. Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword, never to speak of this that you have heard.
Swear.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soever I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter, I think shall meet to put on an antic disposition, that you at such time seeing me never shall with arms encumbered thus, or head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear.
Rest, perturbed spirit.
I so swear.
By heaven, I swear.
So, gentlemen, with all my love, I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. O cursed spite that I was ever born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 1. A room in Polonius's house. Enter Polonius and Reynaldo.
Give him this money and these notes, Reynaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelously wisely, good Reynaldo, before you visit him, to make inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Very well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire me first what danskers are in Paris, and how and who, what means and where they keep, what company, and what expense, and at finding this encompassment and drift of question, that they do know my son, come you more nearer to your particular demands, will touch it. Take you, as 'twere, some distant knowledge of him, as thus, I know his father and his friends, and impart him. Do you mark this, Reynaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And impart him, but, you may say, not well, but if it be he, I mean, he's very wild, addicted, so-and-so, and there put on him what forgeries you please. None so rank as may dishonor him. Take heed of that. But, sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips as that our companions noted and most known to youth and liberty.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Oh, faith, no, that's not my meaning. But breathe his faults so quaintly, they may seem the taints of liberty.
But, my good lord...
Wherefore should you do this?
Aye, my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here is my drift, and I believe it is a fetch of wit. You laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing little solid in the working, mark you. Your party in converse him would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth who breathe of guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence.
Oh, very good, my lord.
He closes with you thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or t'other day, or then, with such, or such. And as you say, there was a gaming, or they're o'ertook rouse, or they're falling out at tennis, or perchance I saw him enter a house of sale, vidiless at a brothel, or so forth. See you now? Your bait of falsehood takes the carp of truth. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you. Fare you well.
Exit Reynaldo. Enter Ophelia.
How, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Alas, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
What? With what in the name of God?
My lord, as I was in my sewing closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down gyved to his ankle, pale as his shirt, and his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport, as if he had loosed out of hell. To speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
Lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then he goes to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand, thus o'er his brow, he falls to such a perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all of his bulk, and to end his being. That done, he lets me go. And with his head o'er his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out o' doors he went without their help, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings, as oft any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, as you did command. I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared you did but trifle and meant to wreck thee, but beshrew my jealousy. By heaven, it is as proper for our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king. It must be known which, being kept close, might move more to grief, to hide than hate to utter love.
Exeunt. Scene 2. A room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we had to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something you have heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it, sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles what it was. I entreat you both that being of so young days brought up with him, and sith so behaviored to a neighbor to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time. So by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much from occasion, you may glean what afflicts him thus.
Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us such gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a little while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
Both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet. Be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz, gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern, and a gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen to where Hamlet is.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Enter Polonius with Cornelius.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Welcome, my good friend. Cornelius, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair returns of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he set out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Polak. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness. Where it grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle nevermore to give the assay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcame with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee and his commission to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Polak, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well, and at more considered time we'll read, answer, and think upon this business. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest. At night, we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
Thank you.
Exit Cornelius.
I assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That I do long to hear.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, day is day, night is night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tedious the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define madness, what is it? Nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Matter? I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity. And now remains we find the cause of this effect. Repent. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase. But you shall hear. Thus. In her excellent white bosom, these, etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the suns are fire, doubt thou the sun that move. Truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, believe it. Adieu. Thine evermore, dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. This, in obedience, hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out by time, by means and place, all given to mine ear.
But how has she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it? I must tell you before my daughter told me, what might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, think if I had looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus did I bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. Then I precepts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. Which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, thence into a fast, thence to a watch, thence to a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves. And we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very like.
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I, and behind the arras, then mark the encounter. If he love her not, and not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant to his state, but keep a farm and cars.
We will try it.
But look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you, both away. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does
Exeunt.
How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Oh, then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
Oh, that's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter might conceive, friend, look to it.
How say you by that? still harping on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishman. He is gone, far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Ah, slander, sir. For this satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams, all which, sir, I powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sure, sir, shall grow as old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backward.
Now this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness that often madness hits on, which reason and sanity could not so prosperously be delivered of. I will leave him and suddenly contrive the meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything. I will more willingly part with all, except my life, except my life, except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
You seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
Exit Polonius.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
Excellent, good friends. How dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz? Good lads, how do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Oh, let me question in more particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune, that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Oh, why then? 'Tis none to you, for there is nothing neither good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself the king of infinite space. Were it not that I have bad dreams. Shall we to court? For by my fay, I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
Oh, no such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore? Is it your own inclining? Were you sent for? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything to the purpose. You were sent for, and there's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
Oh, to what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposer could charge you withal. Be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay, then I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, We were sent for.
I will tell you why. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, it appears no thing to me than a foul and pestilent conjugation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
Oh, my lord, there were no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
Oh, to think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coded them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you their service.
What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
Ah, there are the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come then. You are welcome. But my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Enter Polonius.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too. Each ear a hearer. That great baby there, you see, is not yet out of his swaddling clouts.
Happily, he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it, you will say, Sir, right a Monday morning, 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
The actors have come hither, my lord.
Enter players.
You are welcome, masters. Welcome all. I am glad to see thee well. Oh, my old friend, why thy face is valen since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? My young lady and mistress. My dear lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. Pray God your voice like a piece of uncurrent gold be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll e'en to it like French falconers that fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
Ah, what speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. Roasted in wrath and coagulate gore. No, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. So proceed you.
Oh, 'fore God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, enraged, strikes wide, and with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top, stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash, takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, like a neutral to his will, and matter did nothing. So, after Pyrrhus' pause aroused vengeance, sets him new a work, and never did the Cyclops hammer fall with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam.
This is too long.
It shall to the barber with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tale of bawdry. He sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
But who, oh, who had seen the mobled queen run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison rheum, a clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and o'erteemed loins, a blanket in the alarum of fear caught up? Who this had seen with tongue in venom steeped, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look, whether he has not turned his color or has tears in his eyes, pray you, no more.
Oh,
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak the rest out of this soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed?
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's body, kinsman, much better. Use every man after his desert, and who shall scape whipping? Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow.
Exit Polonius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern, with all the players but the first.
Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
oh, aye, my lord.
We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert into it.
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not.
Exit first player.
Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his conceit that from her working all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in aspect, a broken voice, and all for nothing? For Hecuba? What's he to Hecuba, or Hecuba to him, that he should weep for her? What would he do? Had he the motive and cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, upon whose property and dear life can say nothing, no, not for a king whose damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region's kites with this slave's offal. Why, what an ass am I! This is most brave that I, a son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing like a very drab, a scullion. About my brain. I have heard the guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. If he but blench, I know my course. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil have power to assume a pleasing shape, and perhaps, out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Exit. Hamlet. Act 3. Scene 1. A room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
And can you, by no drift of conference, get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Oh, most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Did you assay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I think, they have already ordered this night to play before him.
Is most true, and he did beseech me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him further edge, and drive his purpose to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too. For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge and gather by him if he is behaved, if it be the affliction of his love, or no, that he suffers from.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Exit Queen Gertrude.
Ophelia, walk you here, gracious, so please you as we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that show of such exercise may color your loneliness. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
Exeunt King Claudius and Polonius. Enter Hamlet.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep we say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, to think perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil? Let's give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, The pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes. He himself might his quietus make, the bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no travel returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear the ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. Softy now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons, be all my sins remember.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I gave you naught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made things more rich, their perfume lost, take these again. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. My lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty should sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty to its likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it its proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
Well, I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, yet I could accuse me of such things that were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should fellows as I do, crawling between heaven and earth? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Or, if thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry.
Hamlet.
Thou, as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny.
Oh, God.
Get thee to a nunnery, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
Go to, I'll no more on it, it hath made me mad. I say, we shall have no more marriages. Those who are married already, all but one, shall live. The others shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go!
Exit. Hamlet.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state. The glass of fashion and the mold of form, the absurd of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. has been to have seen what I have seen and see what I see.
Re-enter King Claudius and Polonius.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake. There's something in his soul, or which his melancholy sits on brood. I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart.
It shall do well, but yet I do believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? Need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all.
Exeunt. Scene 2. A hall in the castle. Enter Hamlet and the players.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Oh, reform it altogether. And let those that play your clown speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too. Though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be concerned. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go make you ready.
Exeunt players. Enter Polonius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
How now, my lord? Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste.
Exit Polonius.
Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
What ho, Horatio!
Enter Horatio.
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art in as just a man as e'er my conversation copped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice and could of men distinguish her election, she has sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been as one in suffering all that suffers nothing, a man that fortune's buffets and rewards have taken with equal thanks. And blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commeddled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of hearts, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, observe my uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. And after, we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing, and scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle, get you a place.
Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Polonius unmutes.
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
Hamlet
No.
lays down at Ophelia's feet.
No, my lord.
I meant my head upon my lap.
I, my lord.
Did you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That is a fair thought to lie between a maid's legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
I, my lord.
Oh God, you're only jig maker. What should a man do but be merry? For, look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father's died within 2 hours.
2 hours, nay, 'tis twice 2 months.
So long?
Enter a king and a queen, very lovingly. The queen embracing him, and he her. She kneels and makes show of protestation unto him. He takes her up, declines his head upon her neck, lays him down on a bank of flowers. She, seeing him asleep, leaves him. Anon comes in a fellow, takes off his crown, kisses it, and pours poison in the king's ear, and exits. The queen returns to find the king dead, and makes passionate action. The prisoner, with some 2 or 3 mutes, comes in again, seeming to lament her. The dead body is carried away. The poisoner woos the queen with gifts. She seems loath and unwilling a while, but in the end accepts his love. Exeunt.
What means this, my lord?
Mary, it means mischief.
Belike this show imports the argument of the play.
Enter prologue.
We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel, they'll tell all.
Will he tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show you'll show him. Be you not ashamed to show, he'll not shame to tell you what it means.
You are not, you are not. I'll mark the play.
Exit prologue.
Is this a prologue or the prosy of a ring?
Tis brief, my lord.
As a woman's love.
Enter 2 players, a king and a queen.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash, and Tellus' orbit ground, and 30 dozen moons, with borrowed sheen about the world, have times 12 30s been, since love our hearts, and Hymen in our hands, unite commutual in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former fate, that I distrust you. But though I distrust, discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too, my operant powers their functions for to do. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind. Honored, beloved, and haply, one as kind for husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first. The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine, oft we break. Purpose is but the slave to memory, of violent birth but poor validity, Now, like fruit unripe, sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be. Most necessary 'tis that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending, doth the purpose lose. But, orderly to end where I begun, our wills and fates do so contrary run, our devices still are overthrown. Our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light, sport and repose lock from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, to an anchor's cheer in prison be my scope. Each opposite that banks the face of joy, meet what I would have well and it destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be wife.
Ah, 'tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while, my spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Player king sleeps.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Player queen exits. Hamlet unmutes.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Enter Lucianus.
This one is Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are keen, my lord. You are keen.
It would cost you a groaning to take off my edge.
Still better and worse.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit and time agreeing, confederate season, else no creature seeing, the mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property of wholesome life usurp immediately.
Lucianus pours the poison into the sleeper's ear.
Poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What, frighted with false fire?
How fares my lord?
For the play.
King.
Lights! Lights! Lights!
Exeunt all but Hamlet and Horatio.
Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
I'm the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Re-enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, sir, what of him?
is in his retirement marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, rather with choler. The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, but this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon, and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot
What, my lord?
make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more but to the matter. My mother, you say.
Then thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of a mother's admiration? Impart.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, though she were 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me. What is the cause of your distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops, would pluck the heart out of my mystery. You would sound me from the lowest note to the top of my compass. And there's much music, excellent voice in this little organ. Yet cannot you make it speak. Blood, do you think I am easier to be played than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, yet you cannot play upon me.
Enter Polonius.
God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
I will to my mother by and by. Fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave
Exit
me, friend.
Polonius. Exeunt all but Hamlet.
Now I could drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft, now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let me be cruel, but not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words soever she be shent, to give them seals, never my soul consent.
Hamlet exits. Scene 3. A room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. I, your commission, will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure, hazard so near as doth hourly grow out of his brows.
We will ourselves provide. Most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
Arm you, I pray you, to the speedy voyage, for we will fetters put about this fear which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Enter Polonius.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process, and warrant shall tax him home. And as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should o'erhear this speech. Advantage. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed, and tell you what I know.
Thanks, my dear lord.
Exit Polonius.
Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not enough rain in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of the offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? O wretched state, O bosom black as death, O lime soul that struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels, make assay, bow stubborn knees, and heartstrings of steel be soft as sinews of the newborn babe, that all might be well.
King Claudius retires and kneels. Hamlet enters.
Now I might do it, Pat. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scant. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven? Oh, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread with all his crimes broad blown. And then am I revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for passage? No. Up sword, and no a more horrid hint. When he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip him that his heels might kick at heaven, and that his soul be as damned and black as hell to where it goes. My mother stays, this physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
Hamlet exits.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
King Claudius exits. Scene 4, the Queen's Closet. Enter Queen Gertrude and Polonius.
He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and him. I'll sconce me even here. Pray you, be round with him.
I'll warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Polonius hides behind the arras. Enter Hamlet.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, go, you answer with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rood, no. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And were it not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then, I'll send those to you that can speak.
Come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass wherein you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! Help! Oh!
What? Help! 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 Help!
What now, a rat? Dead for a ducat, dead.
Oh! I am slain.
Lord Polonius falls and dies.
Oh me! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this.
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, my lady, 'twas my word.
Hamlet lifts up the arras and discovers Polonius.
Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths.
Ay me, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look here, on this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. An eye like Mars to threaten and command, a combination and form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world the assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble. And what judgment would step from this to this? What devil was it that thus hath cozened you at hoodman blind? Oh shame, where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou canst mutine in a matron's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor gives the charge, since frost itself doth as actively burn. And reason panders will.
O Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turnst mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their tinct.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love o'er the nasty sty.
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, not 20th the part of the tithe of your precedent lord, a vice of kings, a cutpurse of the empire and the rule, that from the shelf the precious diadem stole to put in his pocket.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Save me and hover o'er me with your wings. You heavenly guards, what would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come, your tardy son to chide, that lapsed in time and passion, let's go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say.
Do not forget. This visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest bodies, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you, that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air hold discourse? Forth, at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and as the sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hair and life, like excrement, starts up and stands on end. Oh, gentle son, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him! On him! Look you, how pale he glares! His form and cause conjoined, preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with my piteous action you do convert my stern effects.
To whom do you speak thus?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear.
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there. Look how it steals away, my father, in his habit as he lived. Look where he goes, even now, out at the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy. My pulse as yours doth temperately keep time, and makes his healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Throw away the worser part of it and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. For this same Lord,
Pointing at Polonius.
I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. This bad begins and worse remains behind. One word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this, by no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton your cheek, and let him for a pair of wretched kisses make you to ravel all this matter out, that I am essentially not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that.
Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighboring room. Mother, good night indeed. This counselor, who is now still most secret and most grave, who was in life a foolish prating knave. Come, sir, to draw to an end with you. Good night, mother.
Exeunt severally. Hamlet dragging Polonius.
is gone. Hark your shadows that in darkness dwell, learn to contemn light. Happy, happy, they that in hell fear not the world's spite. Hark your shadows that in darkness dwell, learn to contemn light. Happy, happy, they that in hell feel not the world's despite.
Come again, sweet love doth now invite thy graces that refrain to do me due delight, to see, to hear, to touch, to kiss, to die with thee again in sweetest sympathy, to see, to hear, to touch, to kiss, to die with thee again in sweetest sympathy. Come again, that I may cease to mourn through thy unkind disdain, for now left and forlorn, I sit, I sigh, I weep, I faint, I die in deadly pain and endless misery. I sit, I sigh, I weep, I faint, I die in deadly pain and endless misery. All the day the sun doth lend me shine, by frowns do cause me pine, and leaves me with delay. Her smiles, my springs, which makes my joys to grow. Her frowns, the winters of my woe. Her smiles, my springs, that makes my joys to grow. Her frowns, the winters of my woe. Gentle love, draw forth thy wounding dart. Thou canst not pierce her heart, for I that do approve, by sighs and tears more hot than are thy shafts, did tempt while she for triumph laughs. By sighs and tears more hot than are thy shafts, did tempt while she for triumph laughs.
Hamlet, Act 4, Scene 1. A room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude.
Ah, my good lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and wind, when both contend which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, "A rat! A rat!" And in this bratish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us, had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed, o'er whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metals base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what is done.
Oh, Gertrude, come away. The sun shall no sooner the mountains touch, but we must strip him hence, and this vile day we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern!
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Friends, both go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness has Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet he hath dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, hasten this.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Come, Gertrude, we'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Another room in the castle. Enter Hamlet.
Safely stowed.
Hamlet.
Lord Hamlet!
It's soft. What noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they come.
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust whereto it's kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. But when he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge, you shall be dry again.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord.
Of nothing. Bring me to him.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Another room in the castle. Enter King Claudius.
I have sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous it is that this man goes loose. Yet must not we put the strong law on him? He's loved of the distracted multitude, who, like not in their judgment, but in their eyes, and where 'tis so, the offender's scourge is weighed, but never the offense. To bear all smooth and even, the sudden sending him away must seem deliberate pause. Diseases desperate grown by desperate appliance are relieved or not at all.
Enter Rosencrantz.
How now? What hath befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
But where is he?
Without, my lord, guarded, to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Ho, Guildenstern, bring in my lord.
Enter Hamlet and Guildenstern.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are even at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes but to 1 table. A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of the king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of the worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs to the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay until you come.
Exeunt attendants.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender, as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, we must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore, prepare thyself. The bark is ready, and the wind at the help. The associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Oh, good.
So it is, if thou knewst our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. For father and mother is man and wife is one flesh, and so my mother. Come for England.
Hamlet exits.
Follow him on foot. Tempt him with speed aboard. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything is sealed and done that else leans on the affair.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
And England, if thou my love holdst at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full, by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me, till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
Exit King Claudius. Scene 4. A plain in Denmark. Enter Fortinbras, a captain, and soldiers, marching.
Go, captain. From me, greet the Danish king. Tell him that by license Fortinbras craves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom. You know the rendezvous. If that his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye, and let him know so.
Ah, we'll do it, my lord.
Exeunt Fortinbras and soldiers. Enter Hamlet, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
Ah, they are of Norway, sir.
How purposed, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
Well, the nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or for some frontier?
Ah, truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground, that hath in it no profit but the name, to pay 5 ducats. 5! I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or to the Pole a ranker rate. It should be sold in fee.
Why, then the Polak will never defend it.
Ah, yes, it's already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth and peace that inward breaks, and shows no cause without why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
Ah, God be with you, sir.
Captain.
Will it please you go,
Exits.
my lord?
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before.
Exeunt all but Hamlet.
How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. I do not know why yet I have lived to say the things to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a tender and delicate prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep? All to my shame, I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and a trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or nothing worth.
Hamlet exits. Scene 5, Elsinore, a room in the castle. Enter Queen Gertrude, Horatio, and a gentleman.
I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straws, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it and botch the words up to fit their own thoughts, which, as she winks and nods and gestures yield them, indeed would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily.
'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjecture and ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in.
Exit Horatio.
To my sick soul, a sin's true nature is each toysing prologue to some great amiss, so full of artless jealousy as guilt it spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Re-enter Horatio with Ophelia.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass green turf, at his heels a stone. Oh, oh.
Nay, but Ophelia.
Enter King Claudius.
Alas, look here, my lord.
How do you, pretty lady?
Oh, God ill you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. Could I be at your table?
Oh, concede upon her father.
Pray you, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, you say this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I made a window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and dark is closed, and at the chamber door It is made that out may never depart anymore.
Oh, pretty Ophelia.
Indeed. Without an oath, I'll make an end on it. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I had done by yonder sun, and thou hast not come to my bed.
How long have we been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose but weep. To think they should lay him in the cold ground, my brothers shall know it. And I so thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Ophelia exits.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you.
My lord.
Exit Horatio.
Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not in single spies, but in battalions. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts.
A noise within.
Black, what noise is this?
Where are my Switzers? Let them guard the door.
Enter gentleman 2.
What is the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean, overpeering of his list, eats not the flats with more impetuous haste than young Laertes in a riotous head, o'erbears your officers. The rabble call him lord, and as the world were now but to begin, antiquity forgot. The ratifiers and props of every word, they cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues, they applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king, Laertes king.
How cheerfully on the false trail they cry. Oh, this is counter, you false Danish dogs.
The doors are broke.
A noise within. Enter Laertes armed.
Oh, vile king, give me my father.
Homely, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlot, even here between the chaste, unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes? Thy rebellion looks so giant-like. Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear. In our person, there's such divinity to that doth hedge a king, that treason cannot peep to what it acts little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why art thou so incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace, to the profoundest pit I dare damnation. To this point I stand that both the worlds I give to negligence, let come what comes, only I'll be revenged most thoroughly from my father.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world, and from my means I'll husband them so well, they shall go far with little.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, is it written your revenge that swoop stake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good Francis wide, I'll throw out my arms and like the kind, life-rendering pelican repass them with my blood.
Why now? Now you speak like a good child? and a true gentleman, that I am guiltless in your father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it, it shall as level to your judgment pierce as day does to your eye.
How now? What noise is that?
Enter Ophelia.
Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid by weight till our scale turn the beam. Oh, Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh heavens, is it possible a young maid's wits should be as moral as an old man's life? Nature is fine, and love, and where 'tis fine, it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves.
They bore him bare-faced on the bier, hey nonny, nonny, hey nonny, and in his grave reigned many a tear. Fare you well, my dove. You must sing a down, and you shall call him a down. Oh, how the wheel becomes it. It is the false steward that stole his master's daughter.
'Tis nothing more than matter.
There's rosemary for you, and columbines, and there's rue for you, and here's some for me. I would give you some violets, but they withered, all when my father died. They say he made a good end.
A document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He will never come again. All Christian souls, I pray God be with ye.
Ophelia exits.
Do you see this? Oh God.
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. But go apart. Make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me, if by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, a crown, our life, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment or his bones, no noble rite, nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So you shall, and where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
Exeunt. Scene 6. Another room in the castle. Enter Horatio and a servant.
What are they that would speak with me?
Tailors, sir. They say they have letters for you.
Let them come in. I do not know
Exit
from what
servant.
I do not know from what part of the world I should be greeted, if not from Lord Hamlet.
Ah, God
Enter
bless you,
sailors.
sir.
Oh, let him bless thee too.
He shall, sir, and it please him. There's a letter for you, sir. It comes from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I am led to know it is.
Yes. Horatio, When thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clean of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they know what they did. I am to do a turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear will make thee dumb, yet are they much too light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that knoweth thine. Hamlet. Come, I will make you way for these your letters, and do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
Exeunt. Scene 7. Another room in the castle. Enter King Claudius and Laertes.
Now you must your conscience my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend, sith you have heard with a knowing ear that he which hath your noble father slain hath pursued my life.
It well appears, but tell me, why you proceed not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature, as by your safety, wisdom, all things else, you mainly were stirred up?
Oh, for 2 special reasons, which may to you seem much unsinewed, perhaps, but yet to me they're strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. The other motive, why to a public account I might not go, is the great love the general gender bear him.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises go back again, stood challenger on the mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so dull and flat that we can lend our beard be shook with anger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourselves, and that I hope will teach you to imagine.
Enter a messenger.
How now? What news? You say you have letters from Hamlet. Who brought them? Laertes, these letters come from Claudio. He received them, and you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know, I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall first, asking your pardon, thereunto recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean? And are all the rest come back? Or is it some abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character, naked, and in a postscript here he says, alone. Can you advise me?
I'm lost in it, my lord. But let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus diest thou.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord, so you will not o'errule me to peace.
To thine own peace. If he be now returned, as checking at his voyage, and that he means no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit now in my device, under which he shall not choose but fall, and for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother uncharged the practice, and call it an accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing, for a quality wherein they say, you shine.
What part is that, my lord?
A very ribbon in the cap of youth. 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. I've seen myself and served against the French, and they can well on horseback, but this gallant had witchcraft in it. He grew unto his seat and had such wondrous doing. He brought his horse as if he had been encorpsed and demi-natured with that brave beast.
I know him well. He is the brooch indeed and the gem of all the nation.
And he made confession of you and gave such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especial. He cried out, 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming, or to play with him. Now, out of this.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you, or are you like a painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Oh, not that I think you did not love your father, but I know love is begun by time, and I see, in passages of proof, time qualifies the spark and fire of it. But to the quick of the ulcer, Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show you yourself your father's son indeed, more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
Good Laertes, keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returned shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence, bring you in fine together. With ease, or a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice, requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think on this. If it should fall that our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not assayed. Therefore, this project should have a back or a second that might hold. Soft. Let me see. I have it. When you and your motions are hot and dry, as to make your bouts more violent to that end, and he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon, but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stock, our purpose may hold there. But stay,
Enter
what noise?
Queen Gertrude.
One woe doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Well, where?
There is a willow, grows aslant a brook, that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come of crow flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke. When down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be till that her garments, heavy with their drink, hold the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, and she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I must forbid my tears, but yet it is our trick of nature, her custom holds. Let shame say what it will, when these are gone, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that would fain blaze, but that this folly doubts it.
Exit Laertes.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had done to calm his rage. Now I fear this will start it again. Therefore, let's follow.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1, a churchyard. Enter 2 gravediggers with spades, etc.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell you she is, and therefore make her grave straight. The crowner has set it on her and finds it a Christian burial.
Well, now, how can that be? Lest she drowned herself in her own defense.
Why, 'tis found so.
Huh. Must be se offendendo. Cannot be else. But here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act hath 3 branches. It is to act, to perform, and to do. Argal, she drowned herself wittingly.
Oh, nay, but hear you, good man Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good.
Yeah.
If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is will he nil he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, it is he drowns not himself. Argal, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, marry is. Crowner's quest law.
Well, will you have the truth of it?
Mm.
If this had not been a gentlewoman, she would have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than even their Christian. Come, my spade. There is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Huh? Was he a gravedigger? A gentleman?
A gentleman. He was the first that ever bore arms.
Ah, he had none.
What art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answers me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
All right. Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than either? The mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Oh, it's the gallows maker. For that frame outlived 1,000 tenants.
I like that went well in good faith. The gallows does well, but how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Do it again. Come.
All right. Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Tell me that and unyoke.
Okay. Mary, now I can tell.
To it.
Pass. I cannot tell.
Enter Hamlet and Horatio at a distance.
Well, cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with a beaten. And when you are asked this question next, say, a grave maker.
Oh.
Clouds that he make last till doomsday. Go on, get thee to yawn. Fetch me a stoop of liquor.
Yep.
Exit second gravedigger.
And you, when I did love me, thought it was very sweet to contract a foretime on my behalf. Me thought there was nothing to meet.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath make it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis e'en so. The hand of little employment hath the daintier sense.
But age, old age, with his steel instance, have clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipbed me into the land as if I had never been such.
I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave is this, sirrah?
Huh? Oh, mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, and yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it and say 'tis thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, and therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
Well, what woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last king Hamlet bested Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, it is no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith, in upon losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Yeah, come here. Denmark.
How long will man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Oh, in faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as We have many pocky corpses nowadays as we'll scarce hold the laying in. It will last you some 8 year, 9 year. Tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out the water a great while. And your water is a sore decayer of your horse and dead body. Here's a skull now.
Whose was it?
A horse and mad fellow it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish wine over my head once. This same skull, sir, was Yorick's, the king's jester.
This?
Aye, in that.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fantasy. He had borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table roar? Not one to mock your own grinning, quite chapfallen. Prithee, Horatio, dost thou think Alexander looked of this fashion in the earth?
E'en so.
Ah, but soft a while. Here come the king, the queen, the courtiers.
Enter priest, etc. in procession. The corpse of Ophelia, Laertes, and mourners following. King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, their trains, etc.
Who is this they follow? And with such vehement rites? This doth betoken the course they follow did with desperate hand fordo its own life. 'Twas of some estate. Couch we a while and mark.
Hamlet retires with Horatio.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth, mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been in far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but the great commando sways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged to the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is allowed her virgin krantz, her maiden struments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe, full 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in my arms.
Laertes leaps into the grave.
Now, pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, to o'ertopple Pelion on the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
Hamlet leaps into the grave.
The devil take thy soul.
Ah, thou prayest not well. I prithee take thy fingers from my throat, for though I am not splenetive and rash, yet I have something in me dangerous, which let thy wisdom fear. Hold off thy hand.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet! Hamlet!
Good my lord, be
Gentlemen,
please.
Why, I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 30,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
For love of God, forbear him.
As well as show me what thou wilt do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear itself, would drink up Edsel, eat a crocodile, I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. Nay, and thou, mouth, I'll rent as well as thou.
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him. Anon, as patient as the female dove, when that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew and the dog will have his day.
Hamlet exits.
I pray thee, good Laertes. Horatio, wait upon him. Laertes.
Exit Horatio.
Laertes, strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to a present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shall shortly we see. Till then, in patience, our proceeding be.
Exeunt. Scene 2. A hall in the castle. Enter Hamlet and Horatio.
So much for this, sir. Now you shall see the other. You do remember all the circumstance.
Remember it, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Rashly, and praise be rashness for it. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me, in the dark groped I to find out them. Had my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to my own room again, making so bold, my fears forgetting manners, to unseal the grand commission, where I found Horatio royal knavery, an exact command, larded with many several sorts of reason, importing Denmark's health and England's too, with such bugs and goblins in my life, that on the supervise no leisure bade it, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head be struck off.
Is it possible?
Here is the commission. Read it at more leisure. But wilt thou hear how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Being thus benetted round with villainies, or I could make a prologue to my brains, they had begun the play. I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair. Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
Aye, good my lord.
An earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, and many such as is of great charge, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should the bearers put to southern death, not shriving time allowed.
How was this sealed?
Why, even in that was heaven ordinate. I had my father's seal in my purse, which was a model of the Danish seal, folded the writ up in the form of the other, subscribed it, gave it the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never know. Now the next day was our sea fight, and what to this was sequent thou knowest already.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience.
What a king is this?
Does it not, think thee, stand me now upon? He that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage. Is it not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm? And is it not to be damned to let this canker of our nature come in further evil?
It must be shortly known to him from England. What is the issue of the business there?
It will be short. The interim is mine, and a man's life no more than to say one. But I am very sorry, Horatio. But to Laertes I forgot myself, for by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his. I'll court his favors, but sure the bravery of his grief to put me into a towering passion.
Peace, who comes here?
Enter Osric.
Your lordship is most welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly?
No, my good lord.
Thy state is more gracious, for 'tis a vice to know him. He hath much land and fertile. Let a beast be the lord of beasts, and his crib shall stand at the Lord's mess. 'Tis a chuff, but as I say, spacious in possession of dirt.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it with all diligence of spirit.
Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes, believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very well society and great showing. Indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he is the card and character of gentry, for you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see.
Sir, his defilement suffers no perdition in you, though I know to divide him inventorially would disease the arithmetic of memory. But in the verity of extolment, I take him to be a soul of great article.
Your lordship speaks most infallibly of him.
The concernancy, sir. Why do we wrap the gentleman in our more raw breath?
Sir.
Is it not possible to understand in another tongue? You will do it, sir, really.
What imparts the nomination of the gentleman?
Of Laertes.
His purse is empty already. All his golden words are spent.
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant.
I would you did, sir. Yes, in faith, if you did, it would not much approve me. Well, sir.
You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence. But to know a man well were to know himself.
I mean, sir, for his weapon, but in the imputation laid on him by them in his meed, he's unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but well.
The king, sir, hath wagered with him that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial, if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. If it please his majesty, it is the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him if I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame in the odd hits.
Shall I redeliver you even so?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours.
Exit Osric.
He does well to commend it himself. There are no tongues else for his turn.
Enter a lord.
My lord, his majesty commended to you by young Osric, who brings back to him that you attend him in the hall. He sends to know if your pleasure hold to play with Laertes, or that you will take longer time.
I am constant to my purposes. They follow the king's pleasure. If his fitness speaks, mine is ready, now or whensoever, provided I be so able as now.
The king and queen and all are coming down.
In happy time.
The queen desires you to use some gentle entertainment to Laertes before you fall to play.
She well instructs me.
Exit, Lord.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not think how all's ill about here in my heart. But it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery, such a kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their rapier hither, and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of the sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave betimes? Let be.
Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Laertes, lords, Osric, and attendants with foils, etc.
Come, Hamlet, take this gauntlet from me, this hand from me.
King Claudius puts Laertes' hand into Hamlet's.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. But pardon it as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you needs must heard how I am punished with sore distraction. What have I done that might your nature honor and exception roughly awake? I here proclaim was madness. Was it Hamlet wronged Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be taken away, and when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? His madness. If it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that is wronged. His madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my declaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in terms of honor, I stand aloof, and will no reconcilement till by some elder master of known honor I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But till that time I do receive your offered love, like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the foils, come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give them the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both. But since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These have all a length.
Aye, my good lord.
Set me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first hit, or the second hit, or quit an answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better health. Come again, and you judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
They play.
One.
No.
Judgment?
A hit. A very palpable hit.
Well again.
Stay. Give me drink, Hamlet. This pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come.
They play.
Ah, another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He's scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin. Rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good, madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
Ah, ha. I will, my lord.
Oh.
I pray you, pardon me.
It is the... Too late.
Come for the third, Laertes. You do but dally. I pray you, pass with your best violence. I'm afeard you make a wanton of me.
Say you so? Come on, have it you now.
Laertes wounds Hamlet. Then, in the scuffling, they change rapiers, and Hamlet wounds Laertes.
Part them. They are incensed.
Nay, come again.
Queen Gertrude falls.
Look to the queen there! Ho!
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
How is't, Laertes?
Why, as a woodcock to my own spring, Osric, I am justly killed with my own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink. The drink, my dear Hamlet, the drink. I am poisoned.
Queen Gertrude dies.
Oh, villainy. Oh, let the doors be locked. Treachery, seek it out.
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not a half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
The point in venom too? Then venom to thy work.
Hamlet stabs Claudius.
Treason! Treason!
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this poison. Is thy union here? Follow my mother.
King Claudius dies.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Laertes dies.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. You that look pale and tremble at this act, had I but time, as this fell Sergeant Death is strict in his arrest. Oh, I could tell you, but let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go, by heaven, I'll have it. God, Horatio, what a wounded name. Things standing thus at known shall live behind me. If thou didst ever in your heart hold me, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story.
A march afar off, and a shot within.
What warlike noise is this?
Young Fortinbras with conquest come from Poland to the ambassadors of England gives this warlike volley.
Oh, I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. I cannot live to hear the news from England, but I prophesy the election lights on Fortinbras. He has my dying voice. So tell him with the occurrence more or less which have solicited. The rest is silence.
Hamlet dies.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Why does the drum come hither?
A march within. Enter Fortinbras, the English ambassadors, and others.
Where is this sight?
What is it you would see if aught of woe or wonder? Cease your search.
This quarry cries on havoc. O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell, that thou so many princes at a shot so bloodily hast struck?
The sight is dismal, and from our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing, to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Where should we have our thanks?
Not from his mouth had it the ability of life to thank you. He never gave commandment for their death. But since so jump upon this bloody question, you from the Polack wars and you from England are here arrived. Give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. So shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts of accidental judgments, casual slaughters of deaths put on by cunning and forced cause. And in this upshot purposes mistook, fallen on the inventors' heads. All this can I truly deliver.
Let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to our audience. For me, with sorrow, I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me.
Of that I shall have also cause to speak, and from his mouth whose voice will draw on more. But let this same be presently performed, even while men's minds are wild, lest more mischance on plots and errors happen.
Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally. And for his passage, the soldier's music and the rights of war speak loudly for him. Take up the bodies, such a sight as this becomes the field. But here shows much amiss. Go, bid the soldiers shoot.
Exeunt, bearing off the dead bodies.